Yeah, let's see. Open it up, baby. We're
Open it
back.
up.
Wild card weekend.
We're still on the Polars, baby. We're still on the
Still
Seltzer.
there. Dry January. The regular season's over. Welcome everybody. I am one of your co-hosts, Harold Hoops. I'm pleasure to have my boy Brennan the Body Petrilli. How we doing, Trilly, dude? It's wild card weekend, man.
Dude, new year, new me. We're winning. We're striving. We're gaining subs on the channel. We
Damn
picked up
right.
about
Yep.
13 subs in the
Yep.
past week. It's awesome. Everybody make sure you keep clicking that subscribe button, share it to your friends. Really appreciate it because we're here grinding. We're here trying to make you money. We're here having fun, trying to
Yes, we
entertain
are.
everybody. Because guess what? It's sad. I think we got 13 football games left of the year.
How sad is that, dude?
Yes.
That just breaks your heart.
You might have to pour one out a little bit, for the
I
season.
was thinking the same thing, maybe on the laptop to end the season.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get into it, man. Number one, we thank everybody so much as always for joining us. We're so excited to have finally our subs above 60. We're getting good numbers on our last clips. I got to take back my quote about the most dangerous man in football. We'll get to that later. But share this, guys. Please share it. And keep listening to our content. Shed on us, love us, whatever it is. We're looking for the $100 million deal. That's the strive. All right, dude. Let's talk about it. Let's get it out of the way. Now I'm going to tell you, some friends back home have been telling me, and this is not a lie. This is true. And they're going to know who they are if they're listening to this. They're like,
comment if you are.
They're like, we love the pod, but your co-host is a little too Eagles friendly. And I'm like, I know he is. I know, but that's who he is. I swear to God, those are not my words.
What do you think?
This is authentic.
So you see what the fuck I'm wearing here, dude?
Let's get it. Show the chain. Show the ice.
Come on, dude. Come on.
Show the ice. Yeah. That's legitimate.
Like, are you for real? A little too Eagle? Yeah. What do you think? What do you think you're getting here? All right.
Breakdown. Hurts back. AJ Brown plays. Definitely there was some sloppy play throughout the game, but that goes without saying. It's your starting quarterback's first week back in a long time. How did the win feel? How did clinching the NFC feel?
I mean, it was ugly, obviously. But
yeah.
After that first play to AJ Brown for like 50+ yards, I was like, take everybody out. That's all I needed to see.
Yep. Yeah.
Just take them all out. Like, they look good. The arm looks good. But the biggest thing was, missing Lane Johnson hurt a lot. They had the one guy, like 33 or whatever. He just kept coming off the blitz off that right side, and nobody would come to help. And there was just a bunch of plays where Jalen couldn't. He couldn't or he didn't want to run with it that he was earlier in the season. Just kind of tentative in it. I feel like he'll have another week to get rest and. Hopefully that shouldn't be a problem moving forward. I don't think it will be. I think just their mindset in that game was just get a win, get out, and let's go. But other than that, his arm looked fine. He was throwing the ball deep. He had a couple deep balls to AJ Brown, Devontae. Still had zip on the ball. He didn't look like he was wincing. They said he was sore after the game. And like, I'm not too worried. It is what it is. I like that game, getting it out of the way now,
sure,
rather than them all sitting waiting another week after, and then you do it and then you're rusty in the playoffs when another team has a game under their belt. Now you went and got it out of the way. You work through some growing pains, you get some time to reflect on it, get healthier, and now we can rock and roll. Everybody who's going to come to the link is going to get their ass kicked.
Well, what I think is kind of crazy, the Giants covered. The line was two tugs.
It was 16, big. Which is kind of crazy. Which they were covering for a while, and then all of a sudden, Webb or whatever the hell his name was started making a couple plays. But
we did talk about last week on the pod, if the Giants really were going to sit everybody, maybe this could happen. But at the end of the day, Hurts coming back after a long time of being off. It's an in-division rivalry. New York's looking to knock you off. They'd love to be able to give San Fran that number one seed. 14 points, a lot of points. You got the win. That's what matters. I think it's enough said. I think that, I'm praying. Listen, the one thing that I'm praying to God, and we're going to get into it later, but I'm just going to precurse something right now. If it ends up being after this week, Eagles, Dallas in a playoff game in the link, that crowd will be one of the biggest crowds that Philadelphia has ever seen. It'll be wild.
It'll be a good time, that's for sure.
Yeah. But we'll get into that a little bit later. Let's talk.
Well, I got one question for you, Harry.
Hit me.
The Eagles, number one seed. They were the best team in the NFC all year long. You know, they sizzled out a little bit at the end there. NBC after the game their metrics, they're a lukewarm favorite at like 35% to make the Super Bowl.
Right.
Do you feel like the Eagles are being undervalued here as a number one seed? Do you think that they're hyping up the 49ers, the Cowboys, Tom Brady?
Sure.
Like, do you feel like the Eagles are underdogs again? I have people telling me no, but I want to hear your perspective.
My perspective on that is that that's exactly what you want, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and you have been saying that. That only adds the fuel to the fire that the Eagles had up until Hurts' injury, right? Hurts went out for 3 weeks, and up until that time, you guys were rolling, unstoppable, and Hurts would put a Belichick, right? We're on to next week. That's what the Eagles need right now. They're the best team in football. Anybody who thinks otherwise, I don't know what you've been watching. They've been the most consistent team up until their starting quarterback went out with an injury. And I don't care what you say. My own team is a pure statement of this. When you lose your starting leader, everything changes. You can't expect for a team to be able to miss that piece and still be able to get everything done at the same level. I think that the Eagles are being well undervalued. I think it only helps their chances to make it to the Super Bowl. Right now, I think it would be stupid to not be putting money on the Eagles to win a Super Bowl this year. They should absolutely be the favorite by far. And
that's what I want. You saw how much it drove those guys before, break out the dog mask, man. Like,
absolutely.
You saw Georgia. You had the guys from Georgia going after they demolished TCU saying, you guys had us at 7-5. Like, it's straight brainwashed.
Fuck them kids.
like they were brainwashed by their head coach, Kirby Smart. Like, I want these guys to have that chip. Like, what's wrong with that? Not like thinking that the whole world's against you. If that's going to bring you together,
that's going to get the job done. Absolutely.
And that's what we saw happen beforehand. Like, we saw the Phillies this past postseason limp into the playoffs and go on a run. We saw the Eagles on 2017 limp into the playoffs with Nick Foles, go on a run. Like, that's what Philly sports knows, and that's all we know how to do is underperform, have that chip, and make a run.
Dominate. Right. And I think that that's the big thing, right, is that you guys have been this dog who throughout the season still, something that we talked about consistently throughout the regular season on this very show, is how I've never seen a team be so good and be so talked down upon throughout the year, and that helped towards you winning. We said last week, I said it, you said it. I think that it's solidified why Hurts is the MVP of the league, that everybody was saying, including, I brought up, I had people saying to me, if Justin Herbert was on the Eagles, he would be the MVP. Anybody can play with that roster. Well, it's just not true. Minshew is a great backup, and he couldn't get it done. It matters who's the guy who's under center, right? And so, I think, listen, if you think that the cadence of a backup quarterback in the Niners, you're picking that over right now, who is undoubtedly the league MVP to get to a Super Bowl, if you're predestining that, then everybody should be tapping into you for the rest of the time. But statistics have shown that's just not the way it goes. It's just not the way it goes. The 49ers are there, but they need their guy. They need a new guy. They need Jimmy G. If Jimmy G was in, one thing that I would say is top to bottom, it would be hard to say right now who is the better team, right? Is it the 49ers? Is it the Eagles? Because they're these juggernauts. But to think that the Eagles are not the number one seed out of everybody, and the only other team that I think comes close to them is Kansas City. But that's just me. So yes, to end this part of the discussion, I think it's great that they're undervalued. I think it helps you guys. And if anything, it's going to propel a championship into existence. Let's move to a team that,
I'm sorry to all your buddies. We went heavy on the Eagles, and now we're going to go heavy on the Braves, because, man, this was supposed to be the first season of the show that ended every season of the show. This was supposed to be the Eagles-Ravens Super Bowl year.
This was supposed to be the year where we set the trends, we get the $100 million deal, and for the last game of the season, we end up stabbing each other, breaking it off because our birds are at odds. And instead, my Baltimore Ravens are limping into Cincinnati, going back on the road to Cincinnati this Sunday for a 1:00 game. We don't have a contract for our franchise QB. Our franchise QB is now going to miss 6 games in a row when he was supposed to miss 4. Tyler Huntley is possibly throwing, the shoulder's back, but it's not confirmed that he's going to be the quarterback. And we've signed right now the most dominant linebacker in the league, Roquan Smith, who reinvigorated our defense, making them look like the defense of old. Dude, I don't know what's going to happen right now. It's scary to say this, but this is one of the first times that I can say that this is either, it's going to, again, I've used this phrase before. It's either going to be down and dirty or it's going to be a blowout. Cincinnati's got the ability to beat us by 14 points. They have the ability to hang that type of line on us. It's still the AFC North, so I'm not going to go that far. But I want to bring up the quote that I tweeted out when we signed Roquan Smith, which was a famous quote by Jerry Jones when they were trying to get Dak signed. The pie is definitely getting a little bit smaller, and the pie's getting smaller. I brought up last week, when you play for this organization, you're expected to compete at a certain level. That's what's gotten us to 2 Super Bowls in 20 years, winning 2 Super Bowls, having 2 of the greatest defensive players of all time play on our team. That's what happens when you hold your team to a certain standard. And through that, what we build from the ground up through our GM and through our leadership and coaching. And Lamar Jackson wants $230 million completely guaranteed. Lamar Jackson doesn't realize that if he gets $230 completely guaranteed in 3 years, there won't be any more winning. We won't be a 10-win team. Lamar on his own talent, bar none, bar no Andrews, bar no Dobbins, bar no Edwards, bar nobody, Lamar Jackson will win you 5 games on his own talent. But after those 5 games, you need somebody else to get you 5 to clinch playoffs. And that comes from the talent that you got to have. And so what I'm faced is with a past that I don't understand all of these people in the media, and I get it, you got to do it for clicks, but let's stop and let's be honest here for a minute. The Ravens have to do what's right for this organization. And what the Ravens have to do, what's right for the organization, is if we're not going to have Lamar Jackson, we got to sell him when he's at his highest. He's at his highest right now. We have clientele in the league that can pay his due, that can pay his bill, that can pay the bill that Deshaun Watson brought in, 3 first-round draft picks. Lamar Jackson is absolutely worth what Deshaun Watson was worth. I think the idea of franchising Lamar Jackson and then most likely not having a deal ready. I said it last week. This guy isn't going to be Kirk Cousins. He's not going to be using the franchise tag every year. It's contract or not. So what I say is, and I said this last week, he's not playing this week. So it's an A or B option. We either, when the season ends, say, we're coming to the table, let's reach this deal, let's lock you up for 5, and let's get it done. Or we're shipping him to one of these 4 teams. He's going to the Texans, he's going to the Jets, he's going to Detroit, he's going to Seattle. And Detroit and Seattle are off the table because they're sticking with their guys. So we got 2 options here. We send him to Houston, that's going to give us the 3, that's got the 2nd and the 20th or whatever, just this year alone, with another first round the following. Or we're sending him to the Jets, where we're getting a first round this year and 2 firsts next year, and most likely a 2nd the following, right? Or sorry, it's 2 firsts and then 2 seconds. Excuse me, 2 firsts, 2 seconds. The Ravens have to do what's right for us to be successful. We're one of those teams that's in the fringe, and I'm gonna stop in a minute, Trilly, but just let me get this out. We're one of those teams that's in the fringe of 4 years where we can make a run at a playoff, make a run at a ring. But we can't do it if we can't pay our guys. We just can't. I've said it before. I truly believe arguably second to third best quarterback in for the next 10 years in the National Football League is going to be Joe Burrow. We're going to face him 20 times in those 10 years. We've got to have the ability to win. I love our coaching staff. I love our GM's office. I love this organization. I believe that with having 3 first-round picks, being able to trade up, get a quarterback in the first round, then wasting that pick, getting a first-round quarterback, and then being able to get a top 25 talent at wide receiver. Defense is all paid. You're able to pay Humphrey. You're able to pay Clark. You give Peterson a 2-year extension. You're able to get Queen still on track. And maybe if you get a thrower, a pocket passer, you're able to get somebody with talent who's a veteran. There's no veteran wide receivers that want to play on our team. That's why we can't get anybody. It's not because we're not making the deals. It's because why would they want to play in a running offense that wins, but it doesn't highlight their talent? We got to do what's right. If Lamar doesn't want to come to the table, if you want 230, you're not going to be a Raven. Go to Houston, go get your money, but you can't be here. Am I wrong about anything I said?
No. I mean, I want to say, do you feel better after that? But obviously, I mean, it's frustrating, but
it's frustrating.
You just got to get it out. You got to get it out. Because all that's been building up over the past 6+ weeks now.
6 weeks.
This whole situation has just gotten weirder and weirder, where it kind of seemed, okay, he's banged up. All right, he'll be back. We'll make a run. And to go and, is he okay? Is he healthy? Is he actually hurt? Is he mad? And maybe that they're mad because he's not given the money that he wants. And that whole situation just kind of deteriorated fast.
Very quickly.
And, when he's his own agent, him and his mom, and they, it probably rubs them the wrong way when you're dealing with the front office that, is praising you and all of this. And they got to knock you down a peg or two when they don't want to give you all the money that you're asking for. So that's just kind of the way negotiating works. And sometimes your feelings get hurt. And I feel like that's kind of how it's happening now, where you were saying like all he does is talk to the trainers about his health. He doesn't really even talk to Harbaugh or any of the guys anymore. So yeah, man, it stinks because you definitely do have talent. And for a team that, you haven't been really able to bring in, you traded away Hollywood Brown for a first-round pick. You traded away assets that could help this season, that have helped him in the past, and instead of building around Lamar. And I think that's kind of pissed him off a little bit, to be honest with you.
I agree with that. That's fair.
But you added on the defensive side and said, so, looking at it, what wins in the NFL nowadays? I mean, good defenses definitely help, but when it comes down to it, the quarterback position is going to win you football games, and you need that guy. But if he's, he wants to be that guy to get the big contract, the most in the league.
Yep.
Just can't do it, because you see how these teams, look at the Deshaun Watson's deal right now. Maybe that will pan out down the road, but who knows?
Look at Kyler. Look at Kyler. He gets paid, and look at them. Yep.
The top 5 highest paid quarterbacks in the league aren't in the playoffs. How crazy is that? The playoffs.
How crazy is that?
So I mean, the Eagles are going to be facing that. Not to bring the Eagles, but with Jalen Hurts coming up, they're going to be in a very similar situation. And with Tua down in Miami, and you got Derek Carr situation out there. I mean, I'm going to ask you a question about that in a sec, but it's just interesting seeing how these things develop, and because you definitely have the talent to be there. It just stinks because you're wasting these defensive players' prime now at this point. Your corners are going to be getting a year older. Roquan, I mean, he's going to be there for the next 5+ years as a stud, but your defensive linemen, they're all going to get a year or two older. They're going to put on some extra pounds and some extra weight on those knees. So
those LBs will kick you. They'll get you. Yeah.
What do you think of this real quick? I know Vegas has been linked with Tom Brady a lot over the past couple of years, but what do you think of Derek Carr coming to the Ravens with a first-round pick or two, and Lamar goes out to Vegas?
So I think this is a great question, because I haven't thought about this before, because, the real front runners obviously been the Jets for Derek Carr, right? And now they're thinking about Lamar. That's the new thing, is maybe the Jets are thinking about Lamar. Um, Carr's on the back nine, right? He's 31. I think
still got a good 4 years.
He's still got a good 4. He's still got a good 4, and I think that he can play for probably another 6, if not 7. He takes care of his body. He's a strong guy. He's got a wicked arm. For Derek Carr, it would be the best thing that's ever happened to his career. He would come to an organization that's won. He would come to an organization that's got stabilization in the coaching, and on top of that, he come to an organization that can keep points off the board. First time ever in his career. What I think would be hard for us in that first, let's say, 5 years, if we were to sign Derek Carr, we would have to completely change our offense. Now, with the ability of most likely getting a brand new offensive coordinator, because I don't speak his name on this show, he's headed up to Stanford. Maybe we would have the ability to bring somebody in who's like, okay, we're going to make this and this and this and this change to best suit this guy. I will say, do I hate it? No, I don't hate it, but I got to get picks with it. I can't. If you ask me straight up, if it was a straight up swap.
No.
And that's why I can't understand this thing. Nick Wright bringing this up on Fox, that there's a possibility of a straight up swap. Lamar Jackson for Justin Fields. Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, he said that today on air. You think that a guy that has set back-to-back season records, won a league MVP, gone 14-2, won the AFC, or sorry, not won the AFC, but clinched the number 1 AFC spot, is the equivalent to Justin Fields, who's done a season? Absolutely freaking not. I mean, what is that? It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I think get the money part of it, where the Ravens will have him under control for the next.
Yes,
5.
I can get that too.
But if I'm going to do that, you still need at least a first.
Absolutely, second. Yes. And so that's why my point is, if we're just thinking about an economical standpoint, I'd rather work through the draft. I will tell you though, I've always wanted to have a quarterback wear number 4. That is the honest truth. Just because, because I think the coolest number to wear as a quarterback is 4, because Brett Favre is the coolest quarterback of all time. There's nobody cooler than a guy who wins a Super Bowl, is an asshole to everybody, gets beloved, claims CTE, and gets a Lee Jeans deal. Okay, that right there, you won life. You won life. Do you know that he stole money from his daughter's school?
It was a huge thing, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy.
No, he stole it from welfare. He was taking welfare money, bro.
All right. Well, either way, that's just okay. Let's cap this off. But I want to just ask you this, and I don't want to talk too much Ravens, but I got to ask you this because I've gotten pushback, but I wholeheartedly believe in this. Do you agree with my statement that Houston would take Lamar due to one thing and one thing only? This is what people always forget about what football is about. And ladies and gentlemen watching, I'm telling you right now, if you don't know this, you need to know it now. Football isn't about winning Super Bowls. It's not about making the playoffs. It's about one thing and one thing only: getting people in your stands or your stadium and having primetime football. Lamar Jackson made the Ravens relevant again. He saved John Harbaugh, a Super Bowl winning head coach's career. Lamar Jackson on any team gives Houston, the worst team in the league, without a shadow of a doubt, a primetime Sunday night game and a primetime Monday night game, for the sure fact because they know that people will tune in to watch him. The Houston owner is concerned about one thing and one thing only. He's like Jerry Jones. He knows at any point you can die. You're concerned about the here and now. He wants to make money here and now. Am I an idiot to think that Houston would not make that trade?
No, I don't think it's a stupid thing to think about. I just think if I'm Houston at this point, I go and I take CJ Stroud or Bryce Young or whoever's there and go that way.
Okay.
I go with the draft picks because you just don't have enough talent if you do bring Lamar.
Right.
I mean, that rookie first round pick, second overall pick, is going to put butts in seats, and you hope that guy can develop into a guy,
Yeah.
And that gives you hope. Now, it's not the instant X factor, that Lamar brings you, sells jerseys and all the other things that come with Lamar. But, it just depends how you want to look at it. If you're right about the owners just worried about that, then for sure. They'll go and they'll get a Lamar. But if they want to do it the smart way, honestly, is go draft around, build up a team, and then you can find that quarterback. And I think you can find the quarterback right there. I like the two guys at the top of this board, even like a Will Levis, maybe even too. So we'll see.
Listen, Ocho, I love you. I want you to be a Raven, but we're done talking about this. Let's switch over, dude.
Yeah, it was a good end of season recap for our two teams there to start the pod. Hope you enjoyed it because our two teams are going in different directions right now. If I'm being honest with you.
All right. Now we're back to the show. See, now we're back to the show. Now we're not serious anymore. We're back to the show. All right.
Fuck you. Here, the one thing we get a lot right on this show, right? We get a lot.
And we don't even fact check. We get a lot right.
We get a lot right.
Crazy. Yeah, we
get
a lot
right.
But the
one thing that Harold the Hoops Heaps got wrong is saying the most dangerous team, the most dangerous player going into the playoffs is who?
Yeah.
Who?
Said Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron. And he's out. He choked.
He gave him he gave you right going out of the stadium. Hey, he should have done one. He should have done the JT. You know what I mean? And he didn't.
You would have knew that he was having a seizure or something if he did that.
Yeah.
Start burning or something walking out.
That's the truth. That's the truth. Yeah, he can't make it into a church. Dude, no, I mean, I tweeted out at the end, I said, Aaron Rodgers makes an NFL football game into an episode of Game of Thrones. God, does he I genuinely don't know an athlete outside of Russell Westbrook that loves drama more than him. No. Aaron Rodgers and Kevin Durant are the equivalent of drama. Basically, they're the equivalent of drama. Katie's a little higher, and I love Aaron. And Aaron, hopefully when you listen to this one day, we're going to interview you one day on this show, and we'll give you Cat and PFT did. Fuck them. You're going to come on this, be good. The point being is, I love you. Drama queen, you know it, and you deserve to be greatest of all time. I want to preface all this, but God Almighty, dude, I tweeted out. I said Jared Goff got shipped off from LA to the Lions, a broken man. He now goes and becomes a legend within the organization. Absolutely has solidified that he will get another contract. Today he became a dog. The Lions have a true foundation, bro. They have a true foundation. They're ready. They are ready to rock and roll and pop. They're ready to make Detroit football big again, man. And the question now is, what was that dramatics at the end of the game? What was the point of saying, I think I'll hold on to this one?
I know.
Was that real or was that, listen, the cameras are on? Because we know there's nobody that knows the cameras better than Ron. What was your takeaway from that, bro?
Even walking out the tunnel, arm in arm,
arm in arm.
Like, he's going to have that picture up in his den. He wanted that picture of him and Randall Cobb next to the jersey. Yep. And he was like, that was my last game.
Yeah.
The thing that you want to say that he's a competitor and that he cares about winning and all that. But like over this past year, you could see it kind of like, yes. And then like,
and we've been seeing that over the past couple of years, if we're being honest.
Yeah, going into each offseason, it's been getting worse and worse.
Yes,
and
correct.
He's starting to plant stuff even more and more and more because he knows what's coming. So, I mean, the whole thing is just, it's fascinating that he can't just go out and just be like
normal.
Yeah, I'm trying to say a better word, like. It's fascinating because now this team is built for the next year. Now, I mean, it seems like Allen Lazard wants out. Did you see his press conference?
No.
He was just like, they're asking him about the game and Aaron Rodgers. He's like, I can't worry about other people. I don't even know what I'm doing after this year. He's like, I won't be signing another contract here. And he like slid that in, and then he like kept going. And he's just like, I got to keep my options open too. Like, wow. I can't be. Yeah.
But that also all starts with the foundation that Aaron lays.
Of the leader, yes.
That's why Devontae left. I didn't know what Aaron's future was. I got to go.
Exactly. That's exactly why it is. And it's a shame, honestly, because the guy's so good. You could see when they went on that little stretch to get into the playoffs. Yeah, he was the most dangerous guy. He was slinging the football, and they just hit an absolute dead end of where they just didn't have that dog. They didn't have that one. Like Detroit didn't have any reason to play in that game. Seattle won at the very end and then overtime against the Rams, which was pathetic. Nailed that +6 Rams.
Nailed that +6, dude. That was incredible. That was a great bet.
And then, they go to it. All Aaron had to do is win one more and he's in. And then it's Aaron Rodgers. Watch out. He can make a run. He's still that guy, 2-time back-to-back MVP, Super Bowl champ, best QB in the league, and everybody's gonna hype him up like they're doing for Tom Brady now that we'll get to in a minute. But they came and they laid the foundation of, I don't care. The head coach is, we're gonna bite the kneecaps. We get hit back down. We're taking them both out. And they've really taken that identity when the Packers have taken Aaron Rodgers' identity of quit.
God, is he yoked? God, is he yoked?
Yeah.
I mean, you see Dan Campbell, and you know what you think? You think Campbell's chunky soup. That's what you think, because he is busted.
He should get a sponsorship, bro, and bring back Campbell's.
He should. By the way, let's talk about one thing real quick as a side note before we continue with the Aaron Rodgers. How about what's his name for the second time this season after what happened to 3 in Cincinnati for Buffalo?
Yeah.
How about him hitting a training staff, dude?
I know.
Second time this season. In my opinion, bro, maybe I'm going way too off here. I don't know if you saw the footage of him in the tunnel when he ran off, like screaming like he's complaining like a little baby. In my opinion, bro, you like, just for that, I know I'm probably going too strict. You shouldn't be in the league next season. You should be suspended. How dare you touch a training staff after one of your brothers in the NFL, a guy that you share the field with, almost died?
Yeah.
And there's a player down, and you push a guy in a jacket who's there to protect that guy's life. That guy could be protecting your life.
Yeah.
Like, that to me was so idiotic. It was crazy. The lack of disrespect that kid has. I don't know. Maybe I'm being way too harsh, but that to me, like, I saw that, I was like, fuck you, dude. You fucking suck.
Yeah. Well, him and DeAndre Swift, who was hurt on the play, they were, boys back at Georgia. They were teammates, good friends. So he was looking at DeAndre on the ground. But yeah, you can't be doing that, bro.
You can't touch a trainer, though.
What?
You can't touch a trainer.
No, exactly. I mean, obviously, he probably didn't realize who it was, but you can't, in any circumstance like that, bro, just get out the way. Why are you looking down there? There's nothing good from you hovering over a situation like that. You're just getting in the way. You're causing literally seconds of time that can be very crucial, and we've seen be very crucial. Just get out the way, take a knee, say a prayer for the guy on the side, and talk to him after, hopefully. That's all you can do in these situations. And he's a very bit of a hothead, what it seems.
He's a hothead.
And it's a shame because he's got talent, but that's why
it's just crazy to me that it's happened twice. That's what to me is weird. But really quickly, we don't have to keep going over it. But I'm going to ask you this question, Trilly, because there's something I'm going back and forth with it in my mind. If Aaron is going to hang it up, is he going to hang it up as a Packer? Or is he willing to hang it up somewhere else? Because the truth is what I think that Aaron really has left in the tank, if we're being strictly honest here, he's got 1 year left on his deal, and I think he's got 1 year left after that he's willing to play. I think he could play for another 4 or 5. I just genuinely don't think he wants to.
Mm-hmm.
If he is going to play again, do you think it's going to be as a Packer? Or is he ready to become the assassin that Tom Brady has become? I'll go to the person that brings me in that I can get a ring with. What's your takeaway on him?
I think he's kind of been built himself up around that nostalgia factor a little bit more recently. You hear him talking about like those games, maybe last game at Lambeau, and maybe how he loves playing at in Chicago, or playing with this guy or playing against this guy.
Right.
He's kind of has that sentimental thing now where I think that he might want to be known as a Packer at this point. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think if this was last offseason, he would just get me out. I want to go win. Now I don't think that's as big as a burden to him anymore. I think he's kind of come to peace with where he's been, what he's done, and I just don't see that fire that he had.
Do you think that was it?
No. I think he'll play one more year with the Packers.
Me too. I because I see for Aaron, the only way that Aaron does this right is that Aaron leaves on a win.
Yeah.
And on a win that doesn't matter. Because like I said earlier in the season when they beat the Bucs in that game, right? Aaron solidifies those big energy moments on wins that don't matter. I own Chicago. Chicago has sucked forever, dog.
Yeah.
But that to him, listen, don't get me wrong. I've never owned a city the way that he does, so I can't take it away from the guy. But the point being is just like because he's not been in those moments to get another Super Bowl, hasn't attended one, lost NFC championships. He doesn't have the background on the big games to solidify that on there, right? And my whole thing is like, for Aaron, I think that Aaron is in the same boat that Tom is in. If these guys want to win again, they got to leave where they're at. They got to go. They got to go to a team that's stacked, that wants a guy. And Green Bay is not that. If Aaron were to hang it up today, Aaron would be the greatest Packer that's ever played.
Yeah, and he would be pissed that was his last game in Lambeau too.
Yeah, to lose to Detroit.
To lose to Detroit and to lose out of the playoffs because
of the playoffs. Correct. So I think he comes back for one more. I think he tries to make a run. I think that he's done. I think you're right, Trilly, as we come up for a break. I think he's done with the idea that he thinks that he can get another ring. I think he knows that he's like, you don't see that fire. For me, I believe that Tom wants one for every finger. I don't think Aaron wants that.
They're very different.
Very different. And I think that Aaron just wants to always be in the top 5 conversation, always be known as a great. But I think he wants to leave on his own terms. And that's it though. I think it could be very interesting. Quickly, if he were to go to a team though, where would he go?
I'm going through my head right now. Miami.
Thank you. Let's take a break. Leave it at that. That's all I was going to say. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
And we're back here on Cold One Conversations. I am Brendan Petrilli. I got Harold the Hoops Heaps right above me or beside me, however I want to edit this in post-production there. We got the Polars out.
Done.
We were real serious, honestly, in that first, half hour or so there. There was a lot of deep, in-depth conversation about what's just going to happen after this, another season goes by in the NFL. There's going to be a lot of amazing storylines as we move throughout here through the summer and through the playoffs. But, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're getting the subs up. Let's get up to 100. Let's get it going. Let's keep that ticker going up.
And let's make one thing clear. Once football stops, Coleman's conversations does not go away.
No.
Really talking about storylines. We got the MB fucking A. You want to talk about storylines? We got the shitty Philadelphia 76ers. We got the shitty Suns. We're going to be talking all that.
Baseball will be starting up.
We got
Fightins, baby. Fightins.
I'm thinking about getting a Phil's hat.
Dude, it's a good logo.
It's one of the best. It's
clean.
So nice.
It's clean.
It's clean. Okay. Let's talk it, dude. This is why everybody's here. The $100 million deal. The day that we make you money is the next day, is the day you place the bets. The parlay, the HDL parlay. Oh my God, was it close?
Yeah, fuck.
But hey, hashtag they're due. Chargers, of course, had to leave the 3.
We're seeing the board well.
We are seeing the board very well. I went 4-2-1. You went 4-3. Great weeks overall. My lock hit. Did your lock hit? What was your lock?
Nah, I had the Eagles over.
No, that wasn't your lock.
That wasn't?
No, your lock was the my lock was the under.
Or was it Jaguars?
Yeah, it was the Jags. Yeah, -6. So your lock didn't hit, but that's okay. Still went 4-3. My lock hit the under in the Green Bay Detroit game. 101 sports betting. All right, let's start with it, dude. We got to bet every game. We always bet 6. We got to bet every game. So we're just going to go down the board here. Let's start it off. It's the number 2 seed in the NFC, the team that couldn't clinch the number 1 seed. They're -9.5 at home. San Francisco over under 42.5. Money line -500 San Francisco, +385 for Seattle. Again, line at +9.5. Trilly, what are we thinking on this? We're going to do faves, overs, our usual thing, but we're just going to go down the board here because we got limited games to pick from. What's your first take on this, bro?
Seahawks -9.5. Plus 9.5.
I was about to say you're going to 180, and that was quick too. That was good. Seahawks -9.5. I was about to say, oh my God.
What if that hits? That'd be wild.
Yeah, that would be retarded. All right, break down that pick.
It's Brock Purdy. That's my whole basis of this is
okay.
They've gone on a 10-game win streak. Defense has been amazing, but not. They've given up some big-time plays, some big-time points against some bad quarterback play. Geno Smith is okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're good enough. The Seahawks are good enough that they've held in there against a lot of decent teams throughout the season. I know they lost to San Fran earlier in the year, but my thing is it's due. Brock Purdy is due. His first playoff game. He's on a 10-game win streak as a team. He hasn't really thrown too many interceptions. It's that time. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of pressure. It's in a throwaway spot where it could get ugly either side. So I'm leaning on the Brock Purdy factor, Mr. Irrelevant, being irrelevant, and really putting a damper on this great season that the 49ers have had.
I love the pick. Yeah, I think that they can cover. I think, though, that they're going to win outright San Fran, but I think that Seattle absolutely can cover.
Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, they could just keep rolling like they have, and he doesn't have mistakes, and they don't let him make mistakes. And they should win this football game, but I'm waiting for it, and I think now's the time.
You think the demise is coming first round? I get it. All right. Lines it over. Listen, I'm not touching the points. Or sorry, I am touching the points. I'm not touching the number, though. I'm taking over 42. Now, people are going to be saying to me in the comments, at least I hope they are. At least I hope they are. They say, Harry, when you see teams scoring so much regularly, you always say take the under. In the last 3 weeks, they've scored over 90 points, which is crazy. The San Fran has. But here's the reason why I'm taking the over, ladies and gentlemen. At the end of the day, San Fran has too much damn talent to not score, and 42 points is way too little.
If Brock starts throwing picks, though,
maybe. But hey, then that means Seattle's bringing the old Legion of Boom back, and they're bringing back pick sixes left and right. Either way, I see points being scored here. I think that you're right. I could see Geno coming out of the gates here. I could see Geno leading. I could see the 49ers getting off to a slow start. Maybe Seattle goes up 10. Maybe they go up 13. And then the 49ers really getting it going. I see a lot of points being scored this game. I think that, yes, you're right, Brock Purdy. Either way, whether he's throwing touchdowns to one team or he's throwing it to the other, the points are going to be scored. And again, I'm just going to go back to the point. I think that San Francisco does have the power to reach an NFC championship. I do. And I think that the specific reason why they have that is because their offensive talent. Their defense, don't get me wrong, is tremendous. It's phenomenal. But what makes this team the team is the offense. That's the reason why backup QB has scored 90 points in the last 3 weeks, is because this offense is absolutely ridiculous. They're ready to do their thing. That's what I'm taking, over 42.
Move on to the next game. One of the big storylines is all the young quarterbacks that are in this. Mahomes is the oldest one, the oldest quarterback in the AFC.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's crazy at 20, 28, 29.
Yep.
And this has got two of the younger ones in this one. It's the Chargers Jags.
Yep.
Surprised that
the young guns coming up.
Surprised this game got put at the 8:00 and not at the 4, vice versa with the 49ers Seahawks game a little bit there. But I think that they're thinking that the 49ers are going to blow them out. That's why they put them there. But, Jags have had, 4:00 energy written all over them. But I guess they're thinking the two young guys, you got the LA factor and, Justin Herbert. So they're going to put them on prime time. Now, that's kind of where I'm a little bit concerned with this, is because both of these quarterbacks have kind of been up and down a little bit. They've struggled. If Herbert doesn't have his guys, if Mike Williams isn't healthy when he got his back hurt in that last game, if Trevor Lawrence doesn't have that confidence that they kept showing the clip in that game last week, that what's the biggest thing that's changed for you? Oh, I just have confidence. I just didn't have that swagger, that confidence, and they just kept playing it over and over. Yeah. If he doesn't have that, and he struggled in that game against the Titans to get in, it took the defense to take the fumble to the house for them to win that football game. He had a lot of bad throws, missed a couple touchdowns. If he struggles, I don't really know how I'm feeling here, Harry. I mean,
it's an odd game.
What?
It's an odd game.
Yeah. Well, which way are you leaning towards here?
Man, as you've been speaking, I've been listening to you, but I've been going back and forth in my head, right? My gut is telling me to take Jacksonville as an upset, believe it or not. And for two specific reasons. Because I genuinely did not believe that the week after Los Angeles clinched their playoff spot, I thought that they would lose the following week. They didn't. They proved me wrong. But then what happened this last week with Denver, where they didn't sit anybody and the guy got carted off the field, they don't have that understanding of what it's like to be in this moment right now. And there's only one guy going into this week that does. And that's the head coach on the other side of the field. The guy that helped bring a ring to the city of Philadelphia. My question is, though, did Jacksonville outlive their moment last week? Was that their moment? Have they shined out for the season now? Are they done? Is that hair ready to bring him to the more of a promised land? I don't know. I think that Justin Herbert's got a bigger chip on his shoulder than Lawrence does. Herbert wasn't on a championship national team. Herbert wasn't picked higher than Lawrence, right? He doesn't have that chip. But then again, Dougie P knows how to freaking coach. I don't know, man. It's a toss-up. I don't want to touch.
I'm going back and forth the same way you are, man, because I've really thought about that same thing where expectation-wise is, the Jags are just happy to get in now. They're going in the next season feeling high, like, hey, we won the division. Let's try to go back and get it again. And maybe we can win a playoff game, And when the Chargers now, they've had that expectation of to get over that hump to prove that they can win. And which one's going to give? Is it just going to be that the Jags where we're happy to be here and they're going to go and play their ways free and easy into a win? Or are the Chargers going to be too tense and they're going to screw the pooch, or they're going to go out and dominate like they should?
Like they should. I'm doing Jacksonville +2.
I'm leaning towards the over in this game, but
see, now that's the one thing that I wouldn't touch. I think, if anything, that this is going to be a very low-scoring game. So. This is going to be a 16-13 with mistakes made by both of these guys. That's going to give media commentary time to rag on them both. They're not ready. They don't have this. They don't have that. It's going to add fuel to the fire. I don't like the over at all. I like the under. Now, then again, though, you are talking about the one thing that I'm going to contradict myself on. You do have two guys that can sling the rock. But you got two guys that can sling the rock truly in a game that neither one of them has ever played in before.
Yeah.
This is playoff football. This is completely different than the regular season.
All right. Jacksonville, 2.5. I'll go with you.
Okay. All right. Next game. Next game. We're going big. It's the biggest line of the week. Miami on the road going up north to what was, for a long time the Super Bowl favorites, being known as the team of destiny currently, the Buffalo Bills. They're going on the road. Buffalo's minus 13.5. Over under is 43.5. I think that is going to get crushed because the last time that these two teams met, the under hit. That is where I'm going. That's what I'm sticking with. I'm giving my bet clear and early over 43.5. I'm going to break down.
That's what I was going with too.
Yep.
I don't know if I like that. Us going back and forth there, last two picks.
Yeah, but I'm liking this one, dude.
I like the over big time. I think the Bills are, they got that team of destiny vibe right now.
They're primed.
And they're ready to rock and roll. I like a Josh Allen anytime touchdown. He's going to run one in. I can just feel it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
And he's going to throw it. He's going to throw the ball out of the stadium when he scores
it.
Yes.
Yes.
I can just picture it, bro. Everybody's going to go nuts with the threes. And yeah, without Tua, if Tua was in this game, I mean, you want to hit him for a second real quick after we finish this talk real quick. But, they're going to score 30 plus themselves in this game. Buffalo's going to be rocking and rolling. And, I can still Tyreek getting a big touchdown 1 or 2, because they do have weapons. But, that's all we need at this point is for them to get 10 points.
Absolutely. And we've seen that this offensive core in Miami can score even without Tua, right? Yeah. I mean, they're just too dangerous. And they got a good coach. But no, I totally agree with you, man. Buffalo wants to set a precedent with Miami this week, and Buffalo's pissed.
That's big too. Yeah, we are the team of the East,
Yeah. And they're the team of the East, and on top of that, dude, they're pissed that they don't have the number 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
They want the Chiefs to be nervous.
Mm-hmm.
They want the Chiefs to be nervous. I don't think that the Chiefs have anything to worry about, but opinions can always change. All right. I love that. Quick, easy, over 43.5.
Tua, real quick. What do you think of that situation?
So I forget, there was back and forth. Was it confirmed or not? Did he actually need to be in this longer concussion protocol?
I don't know.
I mean,
I think because it was a second one, you got to take a little extra time.
I think you got to be nervous right now, dude. I think that the biggest thing is that I think that Tua has the potential to be this franchise quarterback the way that Hurts does. I think that they've both shown very similar signs. I think that what's nerve-wracking though is if I'm Miami, if I'm the Miami head coach, I am reaching out to Aaron's agent because they're in a position to win now. So the question is, do you keep this guy who can absolutely keep up with the Bills, who can absolutely keep up with the Jets, who can absolutely keep up with the Pats, even with that coach up north? But, Tua needs to be thinking about quality of life, dog. And that's just what it comes down to. I don't know if the injury was as bad. I don't have the information. If
head
it was,
stuff is scary to mess with, man.
It is.
Like shoulders, knees, ankles, that stuff, whatever.
When your brain's done, you're done. When your brain's done, you're done.
Yes, exactly. So that's the biggest concern.
Yeah.
My thing here is, since he's not playing, go out, give him a fight. Maybe you can, be close in the third quarter or something. But when it comes down to it, look into next year. I wouldn't make any drastic changes. Don't fire the head coach where you've kind of heard rumblings of it.
I know.
But, keep Tua. If you're going to do it, maybe look for a quarterback. But other than that, get some defensive guys, maybe some O-line help, build up around him more. You've got the offensive weapons. Try to get him some help on the O-line or something. Mm-hmm. Get some pass rushers on the D-line. You got Chubb in the trade earlier in the season. Maybe get a safety. I don't know. That's their biggest thing is kind of regroup for next year at this point. It kind of feels like.
All right, let's move along. One of your in-division rivals on the road to Minnesota. Giants +3 over under 48.5. Giants money line +136, -162 Minnesota. This is an interesting game, man, because this is that one time a year game that the line can be screaming at you to go a certain way, and it actually is the truth. And that only happens once or twice a year. I think that this line is saying Vegas honestly believes that New York can win this game. This line should be, at a minimum, in my opinion, given that it's in Minnesota, this line at a minimum should be -5.5 for Minnesota's way. It's only 3, dog. And Giants were smart. They rested most of their offensive talent, really all of their stars. They've shown that they can be lethal. They've shown that they can be scary. I think that this defense is ready to play. And I think that this is the game that this brings Kirk back to the ground floor. This lets us remember who Kirk really is. This is a big test. But before I give my pick, you're tied. This is your division, dude. What do you think about this line?
No, I 100% agree with you. And that's kind of why it's kind of bringing me to what I'm going to pick.
That was weird.
That was really creepy. Hold up.
Let's do that.
Where were we? That was creepy. I got to cut that.
We're back. Hold on. Is my mic working?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't even know where we were. We were talking what game? Oh, this is your division.
Oh, yeah.
Bring me through. What do you think about this line? No, Giants +3, Minnesota minus.
I think this line says a lot that they think, Giants played them close a couple weeks ago. They won on like a 60-yard kick. The Vikings did. And where it leads me to believe is what I've been saying all year with the Giants is if they win a game, it's got to be 2019, 23-20, something like that. And I believe that could happen in this football game. And that's why it's kind of leaning to me where I hate what I'm about to do. Because I told us on a big rant last week that I'm never going to do it ever again on this show. But as a gambler,
no way.
You got to look at it. I mean, 48 points is a lot of points. Maybe Minnesota routes them or something, but I don't see the Giants being able to sling it for over 21 points in this football game.
No, I agree with that, but I think that Minnesota can score.
But if the line's telling us that the Giants have a chance of winning this game, there's no way the Giants are going to be able to keep up and Minnesota score those points to get the over.
True enough.
Now, I hate getting burned. And if I get burned with this one too, I'm never betting an under ever again.
Never again.
But I think I got to go with it here.
Never ever again. It was never. It was never, but now it's never ever.
Yeah.
Right.
Am I crazy thinking about that like that?
No, I get it. I mean, dude, listen, the Giants got a real deal defense. They got a great, keep your eyes on the ball. They got a great defensive coordinator, great head coach. And on top of that, man, I think that their biggest thing that the Giants are going to look how they are going to win this game is by time of possession, because they know that if the Vikings have the ball, they can score. So they're going to look to drag it out with Saquon, get it within the 10, and either Daniel Jones is going to score by the feet, or he's going to give a little kickoff pass to one of his tight ends. And then they're going to play. This could be the hardest hitting Giants defense game we've ever seen. They're going to look to get Minnesota off the field as quick as possible. I like the under. I'm going to go Giants +3.
That's where I would go.
That's me. But I understand the pick. I like the under there. I like the under. All right. Bring us to our next game, Tro.
Let's talk about you.
Here we go.
Talk about you. It's going to be ugly. See, when I first saw that they put this game at primetime Sunday night, I'm like, Lamar's got to play. Like the NFL has to know that he's playing. There's no way that they would put this game. I mean, yes, it's still a divisional rival, tough, but we just saw last week what happened when Lamar didn't play.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, a couple other guys didn't either.
Yeah.
But because you didn't want to show your hand, maybe, I think this game is definitely going to be way closer than last week, but it still can be, I don't know, prime time.
This is what he just tweeted. He just tweeted this at 5:41. I just saw this. Thank you, everyone, for your support and concerns regarding my injury. I wanted to give you all an update as I am in the recovery process. I've suffered a PCL grade 2 sprain on the borderline of the strain 3. There is still inflation surrounding the knee, surrounding my knee and my knee. He goes, remains unstable, and I'm still in good spirits as I continue with treatment on the road to recovery. I wish I could be out there with my guys more than anything, but I can't give 100% of myself to my guys, fans, I'm still hopeful we still have a chance. 2 Purple Hearts. Because you know that we at war. Yeah. Yeah, dude, the line is not helping us. I think that what's interesting to me is this.
It is. It's the lamp. That's what it was.
That's what it was. All right, let's stick with this game. Line.
Hold up. Let me call them and tell them to turn it off.
All right, Paul. All right, everyone. Here's the recap. We're adding parts out. There was a freaky situation that happened in the Petrilli household. We heard a sound that sounded like a Ring doorbell. Petrilli doesn't have a Ring doorbell inside of his bedroom where he's recording. Point being, we figured it out. We're okay. We're back. We're talking Ravens. We're talking Cincinnati. Line is plus 9.5. Over unders 40.5.
Over 40.5. Take it.
Good call on that. Ravens plus 380. Cincinnati minus 500. What I think is crazy about this line, Trilly, is that are you really telling me that you don't have any faith in a healthy Baltimore Ravens defense? You think that the line needs to be that big?
That's why I'm taking the over, honestly, because I think the Ravens can hold it close a little bit, but I think Bengals are still going to be able to score some points.
So
I just think the Ravens offense is going to be better.
Well,
I'm not saying a lot, like 21, 24 points, but yeah. I think the Ravens can score 18, 17.
Under. I'm taking under. We're going opposite sides on this. And I'm going to tell you why. This is going to be a 13-16. This is going to be a 13-10. The Ravens are going to put everything that they have in them in their defense. And Cincinnati isn't going to know what hit them. And at the end of the day, it's going to be a true AFC classic. This is going to be the first time where Joe Burrow is really going to have to grind in the playoffs against a divisional rival. I think that the Ravens are going to run the ball majoritively. I don't see, unfortunately, Mark Andrews getting many targets. I think a lot of targets are going to go to Oliver. I think the targets are going to go to Drake.
What happened to Likely?
We can't get him to separate. We cannot get him to separate. Because they know that if everyone now in the league knows you shut down Andrews, the next guy you just got to take care of is Likely. And then you really force the Ravens to have to think outside of those two guys. They got to think. They don't have 3, 4, 5. They don't have the Patrick Mahomes material where you pick somebody off the street, you put him in a red jersey, and he's scoring a touchdown. We don't have that. I'm taking the under 40.5.
We'll see.
All right, next game. Dude, this game is crazy. And it's prime time. This should not be prime time. Dallas on the road to a losing record Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Dallas minus 2.5. Tampa plus 2.5. Over unders 45.5. Dallas minus 142. Tampa plus 120.
Tampa plus 2.5. Lock. Money line, honestly.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me why that is. That's crazy.
It's Tom Brady. 7-0 against
can't connect
Dallas.
with anybody. He can't connect with anybody.
They got going last week. Mike Evans, big day. Almost 200 yards, couple touchdowns. I mean, they'll figure out that running game a little bit. I just don't think Dallas is it. You know, maybe a little bit of bias in that pick, but I just think Dallas has been struggling a lot down the end here. And I just think this is a prime opportunity for Tom Brady to be Tom Brady. In Tampa Bay, still got a good defense. Dak Prescott sucks. Dallas's defense is overrated. See this being a 24-14 game.
So you're taking the game outright, Tampa.
Yes.
Outright. I'm taking the over 45.5. I'm taking the over. Because you convinced me that playoff Tom is playoff Tom. But Dallas just has too many pieces to be able to score, and Tampa's defense is not good, and Dallas will score. Dallas doesn't have the arm, though, to get Tom too tired to have to keep up. So Tom's going to be able to sling the rock, get it downfield. They can't run. He's going to be forced to throw. I like the over there, 45.5. I don't think it's that many points.
My biggest fear is just if Micah Parsons takes over. That's the only thing. But if Tom Brady can get
Tom,
what?
They protect Tom pretty well.
Yeah. Like if they can protect him, I like their chances in this football game a lot.
I get that. What do you think about the over?
I mean, I don't love it, but I mean, I would definitely take the over rather than the under in this case because you're right. Dallas does have a lot of weapons. They can score in bunches. I mean, you've seen them be able to do that. And
playoff Tom.
And with what I'm thinking, I think Tom can too at this point.
Yep. Okay, so dude, what we got? That's all the games. We got to figure out which. We got to pick which one we're putting in our lock category. Seattle 49ers over 42.5. That's my HDL. That's my lock.
Over 42.
Yep.
All right.
Not the parlay. We haven't done the parlay yet, but what's your lock? Which game?
I'm going to stick it out there as the lock. And I'm really going to be mad. I'm never, ever going to do it ever again if it happens now. Ever.
Yeah.
And then the under 48.5 Minnesota Giants.
It's not a bad under, man. It's not a bad under.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm taking it as my lock. My only under. I'm breaking the rules, and I'm going to take it as a lock too.
Okay.
Let's piece it together. Let's get 4 together here. Let's get something sexy.
Here we go. All right, let's talk it. We got to pick 4. Obviously, our wagers are as always.
And then afterwards, let's give a Super Bowl who we think in the Super Bowl.
Love it. Let's do. How about we do? You want to do? Let's do NFC, AFC Championship, and then Super Bowl. Then we'll call it. Okay. First one.
Well, which ones did we agree on? I think we agreed on
Giants plus the points.
All right, we'll put that.
Right? Or no, which one did we agree on?
Jags 2.5.
Jags 2.5. Yep.
How about over Buffalo, Miami 43?
Yes. Boom, boom. Yes. Okay. Now we got to pick 2 more. And I'm thinking. Do
you want the over in that Seattle San Fran game?
No, I don't want to put my lock in it. I feel like that's bad luck. You want to put Tampa in there?
Yeah. That'll make it interesting all the way to Monday night.
Yeah, it will. And
you want to go Baltimore plus 9.5 for the culture?
Baltimore plus 9.5.
I think they'll keep it close.
I do too.
They'll muck it up. They'll score some more than they have, too.
15 to win 218. It's 14.57. Not a bad day.
Hashtag it's due.
Hashtag it's due. Not a bad day at all.
I like it.
All right. Let's talk.
Make sure you go follow us on Instagram and Twitter so you can get the when Harry puts it out too. So make sure you hit that subscribe button because we're wrapping up another amazing show here, but there's more to come.
Let's
and now we're going to give you our AFC and NFC championships. And
let's do NFC. Let's do NFC. We can look
back on it and be like, hey, we're always right.
We're always right. And we don't fact check. Let's do NFC first. I feel like it's the easier pick. Eagles, obviously. I agree with that. Eagles are in. Eagles in the NFC Championship. NFC Championship's going through the link.
Yeah. No, I agree. I really like the Eagles to go. I think, all you got to do is win one game. I like their chances against Tampa, against Dallas, against the Giants, against the Vikings, against the Seahawks. 40. I mean, if the 49ers can get past this week and Brock can get over some humps, I think it could be San Fran versus the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC Championship game.
I love that. I think that's kind of that's the destiny game. It's the game that makes the most sense.
It's a little too chalk, though, is the only thing I'm a little afraid of,
Yeah. So I'm going to throw something out there that's crazy for me to say.
You got under a minute.
I think it could be Minnesota. I do. I think it could be Minnesota that makes it. I think that they could be the ones that come. I think
you're taking Giants +3 and you're gonna go.
I'm taking Giants +3 doesn't mean that they're gonna win.
Yeah.
I'm saying that if there's another team that can make it, it's them.
Okay.
San Fran could slip up. They don't got their guy. Minnesota still got their guy. I think that he's going to get to the ground floor, but if he doesn't, I could always be wrong. All right. We'll hit a quick break. Then we'll do like 2 minutes AFC Championship Super Bowl.
All right, Harold, let's wrap it up here. AFC Championship game. Talk me out of a non-Bills Chiefs AFC Championship game because that's where I'm at.
Simple and easy. We're back, bitches. Number one. This is going to be the end of the show. Another great show. Got a cat appearance. Got lights going off. Got mysterious noises.
What an episode.
Talk. The most dangerous man in football is out. We're talking retirement. We're talking Lamar leaving. All right. I'm going to break it down for you, man. I can't believe that I'm saying this, dude, but this is just truly what I believe. I believe it's a repeat. It's cheap. It's Cincinnati on the road to Kansas City.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think that the Bills are. I know that they're the team of destiny, but they're not. They're not the team of destiny to go all the way yet. I've said it before. I'll say it again. You got to get that feline out of here, dog.
Ted,
yeah. Give him a schwack. Yeah. If you pet him and rub his tail, he's gonna keep coming back. Is the thing.
He's laying down. He's a good boy.
The Chiefs, at the end of the day, dude,
he's a little Bengal tiger.
Outside of the Eagles, fuck the Bengals. Outside of the Eagles, they're the best team in football, dude. And they got the best quarterback in football right now for the next 10 years, unless something changes. He's the LeBron of the NFL. Fatty Patty, McDaddy, Patrick Mahomes is ready to rock and roll, no matter whether he's got Tyreek Hill or not, dude. And Andy Reid is ready to play ball. And I think that Cincinnati found their mojo again. I think they're ready to score. I think that they're able to keep Joe Burrow safe. For now, I think that Cincinnati's biggest thing, though, that's setting them above right now, what I believe is going to bring them to an AFC championship is their defense. Their defense right now is the real deal. This would be a different conversation if the Bills had the guy that they recruited for this game in Von Miller, but they don't.
Yeah.
They lost him in week 10.
Yeah, that is huge.
It's a totally different team when playoffs come, baby. So that's my pick right now. It's Cincinnati on the road to the Chiefs.
All right. Now, everybody in the comments, let's hear it. Let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know on Instagram, TikTok, everything, how we're wrong, how we're stupid, because we're going to give you the title game, the bowl, the big game. Harry, you go first.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
It's Chiefs and Eagles. I'm not giving a winner yet or a score, but I will do both as we have lead up. But it's going to be Chiefs and Eagles. I think that it's going to be an emotional game for Andy Reid, given that this is his old team, right? That he would be facing a Super Bowl.
That'd be a big matchup.
Big matchup. I think that Patrick Mahomes is ripe and ready to get a second ring, and I think that the Eagles are ripe and ready to win a ring out of nowhere when people never thought that they would be in this position. I think that both of these teams are hot. They're set up to win. They got great wide receiver talent that could come out of the woodwork. They have established running games. They have true quarterbacks that can run and throw the ball, that make plays on the move all the time. They've got coaching staffs that are absolutely incredible. And both of them, the Eagles obviously have a much bigger upside in this case, have real deal fucking defenses, dude. These are two of the best teams right now in football. These are the teams that I see going to the Super Bowl.
Both teams have game records on defense. You know, Hassan Reddick and Frank Clark and Chris Jones. You know, Josh Sweat's back healthy now too. He's a big guy for the Eagles defensive line. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm going to take the Birds on the NFC side of the football here. I'm real pumped for the Super Bowl run. I'm excited. It's going to be a heck of a ride, man. Like watching all the Phillies games in person, you know, on that playoff run to the World Series, that was just electricity factor. Like I had a pop up, 5 years ago today. Was watching with my buddy Greg tailgating this Eagles Falcons game, first round of the playoffs. It was electric.
Okay.
we were after the end of the game. People are coming out. We were watching out in the parking lots, and we're all high-fiving everybody. We're fucking hammered, and we're just like, bang, bang, go Birds. It was fucking sick, and make a nice little run. I think they're going to do it again. Now, the other side of it, I think it's another team. We talked about it earlier, team of destiny, honestly. I think it's the Buffalo Bills. They've overcome so many different adversities. I like your take about Von Miller. That's a big thing for sure. But I just think Josh Allen, this team, Lamar, the Storms, they had a Buffalo shooting early, like very beginning of the year. There's so many things for them to get back.
They've overcome.
And just those two cities combined in Arizona is going to be absolutely insane, and we need it. I like it.
Yeah, that might be the most dirty fan bases that could ever meet for the biggest game of them all. That's it. And that's
Arizona,
where we're
too.
In Arizona, right in the middle of fucking nowhere. That's where we're going to end out the show. Thank you for listening to another episode of Cold One Conversations. We're going to be back next week. We'll see how the bets come out. We'll have slips coming out. Great show, tremendous show. We're getting better each time. We're at 66. We're looking for more. We're looking for more. We're looking for more. Keep those views coming. We'll have shorts coming soon. We love you guys.
Go Birds.